Hi, I'm Kim. You're watching Kim Wilson TV. My channel is dedicated to helping victims of narcissistic abuse get free and stay free. Before I get going with this video, I just want to take a moment to thank our friends Cressy and Gordon very much for your donation to our channel's PayPal account. All recent donations are going to help with surgeries and a new wheelchair for our newly adopted paraplegic dog Marley. Well, we've had Marley for quite some time now, but compared to my long-term dog Scout, he's pretty new to us, and man, is it working out great. Now, one other thing I just want to say quickly is many of you have written to me and asked if I would recommend adopting a paraplegic or disabled dog. I'm just going to suggest that you do a bit of research first, and please email me at kimwilsontv@gmail.com. I'll be happy to talk to you about some of the challenges we face as a family having a paraplegic dog. Over and over again, I've received emails from you beautiful people asking me, Kim, how do I know for sure he's a narcissist? Maybe it is me. Maybe he or she is right about me. Now, I know I often refer to narcissists as males because my initial exposure to a narcissist was with a man. And I am certainly not trying to underestimate how many extremely diabolical female narcissists there are out there. So I know often in the comments people will mention, hey Kim, women are narcs too. Trust me when I say I know that, and we are going to get to that in future videos. But just for the sake of my personal experience, I will often reference he, and of course I always mean he and she. So anyways, often victims of narcissistic abuse, being empathetic, being kind, compassionate, good and loving people, they don't want to be quick to judge anyone. They certainly don't want to be quick to label someone they love as a narcissist, as a diabolical monster. They want to give people the benefit of the doubt. So I've seen this over and over and over again. This question has come up thousands of times, and quite often people will also attach, you know, a pretty phrase or a quote or, you know, something like that with the email. There'll be that, you know, attachment, and quite often these attachments will say things like, love is forgiveness. To forgive is to love. There is no love without forgiveness, and I want to talk about this today. Okay, so as you guys know, I have been single since the end of the relationship with Trevor the Narc. I have never gone on a date. I have never considered myself to be in a position to get into a new relationship. I don't believe at this point I have a lot to offer. I'm still, you know, very much involved with self-exploration, and I think I really need to better understand myself before I make myself available in someone else's life. But I have definitely questioned what love is. I've also been a bit perplexed by that because I think in many ways my idea of love is the product of social programming. When we are constantly hearing things like love is forgiveness, forgiving, forgiving, you just can't love if you can't forgive, I started to question this and wonder, you know, what is this stemming from? And I'll tell you, I've been doing quite a bit of research on this, and this is very much part of the social narrative. There is this new age idea that to love is to forgive. Okay, so let's consider this. Sorry, the street's a little noisy today. It's early in the morning and everybody's out there busily buzzing about. Okay, so when I sit and reflect on what my idea of love is, now if I was to become involved with someone and become willing to enter into a love exchange with them, I have to ask myself, what would that look like for me? Well, I guess I would expect that two people come together with a shared commitment to each other, with a commitment to loyalty, to honesty, to be able to trust each other, to be a good partner to each other, to be a best friend to each other, to have each other's back, to be, the thing that you want in life, the partner you want in life. You got to be willing to be that partner back. And if you want honesty and loyalty and trust and emotional support and security, and you want genuine, honest intimacy that is, void selfish motives, if you want those things, you've got to be willing to give those things. So I guess for me, love looks like a shared commitment to loyalty, a shared commitment to honesty and responsibility to each other, to be loving and supportive and empathetic and compassionate. So when I think about all these things, I guess the question comes to mind, why the need for all this forgiveness? I believe there's an indoctrined social narrative that is dumbing down love. Like the idea that to be in love or to be able to give love or receive love, you've got to be forgiving. Now, is it talking about, leaving the rake in a bad position out in the yard where your neighbor's going to trip on it, where you're going to say, whoops, sorry, are you okay? I was negligent in leaving it there. I should have put it away. Or are we talking about something bigger? Because when you're a victim of narcissistic abuse, and I'll tell you for myself, when I really started to question the dynamics of the relationship with Trevor, I became confused as to what love was supposed to look like. And like many of you, I was looking at those sorts of quotes, those, cheerful sort of statements, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, so love comes with a certain level of suffering. Love comes with a built-in need to forgive your partner, to be accepting of these horrible things that happen, because love is not always lovely. Love is sometimes ugly. What is it? Is love supposed to or expected to come with a certain level of ugly? To me, sounds like gaslighting, mindfuckery, brainwashing, that for us to have love in our lives, we have to become willing to accept the lies, the infidelity, the covert, sneaky behavior, the sabotage, all of these really negative, dark aspects of life come with love. Well, you know what? I don't buy it. I don't buy it. And I know many of you have said to me that you feel very much compelled to forgive the narcissist because somehow this new age narrative that to heal you have to forgive, it becomes part of your indoctrined belief system. I never bought that. And I'll tell you guys, I love your comments, and your comments jump out at me, and I'm actually working on a whole video series based around your comments, and so many comments jump out. But one day, a gentleman, a subscriber here at the channel, left a comment. It was very simple, and it said, Kim, I love your contempt for narcissists. And I got to tell you, I got a real feeling of, thanks for noticing, because I have a true and genuine contempt for narcissists. Do I forgive Trevor? Not at all. Now, many of you know that I believe in God. I often turn my life and my will over to God in the hope of finding a good and moral direction for my life. So I looked to biblical texts to get a better understanding of forgiveness. And I'll tell you, nowhere in the Bible does it say, and whether or not you believe in the Christian Bible or not, you might agree that there are some very good moral foundations there for, leading a healthy lifestyle. Now, nowhere does it say that you are to accept evil as a part of life. to accept evil into your life. In fact, it says to condemn evil, to condemn demons, to condemn Satan. It doesn't say that you should invite Satan over for dinner and then have sex with him. Nowhere does it imply that. It states that we are to condemn evil. Now, of course, there is a statement, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And I get that. You know, any one of us can make a mistake. We all make mistakes. And if we do something through carelessness, through a momentary lapse of consideration for someone else, we do something that harms or injures someone, we recognize this shortcoming, this behavior, as being inconsiderate, less than compassionate. And we feel genuinely remorseful for this. And we apologize to them, or they apologize to us, and we're able to mutually come together and understand that, you know, I really wasn't thinking right, and I'm sorry I did that, and I didn't mean to hurt you. And, you know, there'll be this exchange of forgiveness because possibly this person knew not what they did. But that's not what we're dealing with narcissists. They know exactly what they're doing. I guess this video is about two things. One is the question, does an ability to forgive truly harmful, odious, criminal acts against you, does it in any way hinge on your ability to heal? Well, no, I don't believe that. I don't forgive Trevor. First of all, there's nothing there to forgive. You've got to consider that Trevor didn't harm me, come to a moment of awakening, come to realize that he is a diabolical monster and try to change his behavior. Absolutely not. He'd harmed the person before me, he harmed me, and he just moved on to a new victim. It's a chain. We're all links in the narcissist abuse chain. And when they're tired of abusing us, or they've been exposed, or the mask fell off, they just jump onto the next link. This, to me, is not forgiveness worthy. First of all, to forgive someone, I do believe to some degree they have to be remorseful. And even if a narcissist apologizes, it's not sincere. Of course, there is this concept that for us to forgive these horrendous acts that have been committed against us, that it somehow empowers us. Is that my belief system, or is that a narrative that's kind of being forced on me? Because to be honest with you, I believe that if I am to become willing to accept and forgive extremely cruel behavior, I'm not really empowering myself. I almost feel like I'm selling out to evil, to giving into it, to accepting it as just the way things are. The other thing that this video is about is my overwhelming feeling that there is a social narrative that wants to dumb us down as far as what the meaning of love really is. Love is forgiveness, and I'm in love with someone and constantly confronted with the need to forgive them. I guess I gotta ask myself, is this love at all? The concept of forgiveness is not an isolated, encapsulated thing. Forgiveness is attached to things. Forgiving someone is attached to their bad behavior. So if you're involved in a loving relationship with someone who is constantly committing horrible acts against you, putting you now in a position where you have to constantly be forgiving them. And keep in mind, when you constantly forgive bad behavior, well, you're inviting more of it, first of all. You're telling this person that no matter what you do to me, I will forgive you. I will tolerate this. Thus, right back to the narcissist test. All you're doing is giving them permission to continue hurting you. The concept that to be in a loving relationship, you have to constantly be forgiving someone is only part of the picture. There's another side to that coin. There is a bigger picture. The fact is, if you are constantly having to forgive someone, that means that that person is constantly doing horrible shit to you. Many of you have said to me that you believe your ability to forgive the narc is what's kind of hinging on your ability to heal. I've not forgiven Trevor, and I feel tremendously healed. I feel like my life is back on track again. I truly feel great. But I think there's a bit of a bigger picture here where we have to be able to look inside ourselves and try and assess and determine how much of our belief system is truly coming from us and how much of it is this social narrative of madness and insanity. When we are told that love is forgiveness, now, if there's nothing to forgive, forgiveness wouldn't be an issue. So we need to see the bigger picture. And if we're constantly in need to forgive, well, that means we're constantly being harmed. So what it's actually saying is love is pain, love is suffering. And I don't believe that. I've never forgiven Trevor. I don't feel that there's any moral high ground in forgiving Trevor. I've really never sat and pondered the possibility of forgiving Trevor. First of all, Trevor is not remorseful. He's not sorry. He just moved on to someone else and is hurting someone else. There's nothing there for me to forgive. Now, I've used the word acceptance, and I think we can expand on that a bit because I believe in some ways that constantly forgiving someone's ill treatment of you is in many ways accepting that bad behavior. But, you know, on the other hand, I think it is acceptance void the forgiveness that has really helped me heal the most. And what I mean by that is I accept what Trevor did to me. I accept what happened. I accept the deception. I accept the lies. I accept the infidelity. Why? Because it is truly part of my personal history. It's etched in stone. It's set in concrete. What happened, happened. And I have to accept that because I have no power to change it. I am completely powerless in this situation. What happened, happened. The lies were told, the infidelity occurred, the thefts occurred, the humiliation, the shame, the gaslighting, the mindfuckery, the manipulation, the humiliation, all of that is real. All of that happened. I can't turn back time. I am absolutely rendered powerless to change any of it. So accepting it is my only choice. And in the acceptance of that, in knowing that what happened, happened. I wasn't crazy. What I saw was real. What I felt and experienced was real. And I can't change any of it. I have to accept it. And it is this acceptance. I don't still question, was it me? Is there more I could have done? Was he right about me? Maybe he isn't a narcissist. Maybe it was just my inability to be a good partner. No, all lies, all bullshit. I accept the reality of the situation. And it is part of my life experience. And it is this acceptance, void the forgiveness, that has truly liberated me from this abuse. I believe that healing really depends on our acceptance, not forgiveness. For me, there's nothing there to forgive. He's never said he was sorry. He just moved on to the next victim. And for me, forgiving it is accepting his abuse. Now, I'm not accepting his abuse, but I do accept what's happened to me. I do accept my experience within that whole narcissistic relationship. I know I can't change it. I can't turn back time. And even if I could, I wouldn't filthy my hands up doing it. So if you are unable to accept what's happened, and by that I mean if you're still questioning yourself, if you're still doubting yourself, if you're still in that gaslit state wondering, is it me? Could I have done more? Could I have been a better partner? Well, you haven't accepted the reality of your situation. If you're still trying to reach out to the narc, refusing to go no contact, hoping that maybe the relationship can be salvaged, well, you haven't accepted it. And I do believe that this lack of acceptance is what will be the biggest stumbling block to healing. Oh, little Einstein is in the terrible twos now. Say hi, pretty boy. Say hi. Oh, you dear little kitty. Yes, I love you too. Anyways, just to wrap this up, I want to say that I've been thinking about this quite a lot. And when I'm constantly seeing things that imply that love is forgiveness, In my opinion, this is telling me that love is going to be painful, horrible things are going to happen to you, and you need to suck it up. You need to accept it and forgive it, because if you don't accept and forgive it, well, you're not really a loving person. I don't buy any of it. It just sounds like crazy New Age philosophy to me. Any love that's going to come into my life, any exchange of love that's going to be a part of my reality is not going to be riddled with the need to forgive, because if somebody's not hurting you, there's no need to forgive them. If everybody's on board and everybody's being fair, honest, loyal, considerate, there's just no need for all this forgiveness. Anyways, I love you guys lots. I'm Kim. You're watching Kim Wilson TV. I hope you guys are having a great narc-free day.